Whenever the presidency come out to tell you that they are not scared or bothered about the coalition, just know that they are really scared. And you're going to know why they are scared. Now, when you look at the handlers of the presidency, they've been going on national television talking about the coalition. Nyesom Wike went on Channels Television and granted an interview about this coalition, saying he's dead on arrival. He didn't stop there. He went to a church for Thanksgiving after commissioning a project, and he equally talked about that same coalition. Just recently, Nigerian Social Cohesion Survey released a 2025 report that was conducted by the African Polling Institute, which revealed growing citizens' distrust and low public confidence in government and public institutions. The poll revealed that 83% of Nigerians expressed little or no trust in the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and 82% expressed the same sentiment in the National Assembly under the leadership of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House of Representatives Speaker Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas. Also, 79% said they had little or no trust in the judiciary under the leadership of the SYCJN Justice Kayode Ariwole and the current one, Justice Kudirat Ekun. They did a comparison with previous editions, the 2019, 2021, and 2022, and the data revealed that citizens' trust and public confidence were at their lowest ebb. With this growing dissatisfaction from the citizens and the emergence of a coalition to oust Bola Ahmed Tinubu out in office in 2027, in a panic mode, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has begun to relax most of the policies that affected Nigerians. Like all of a sudden the president is awake. He has been pretending to be sleeping. For the past 2 years, Nigerians have endured a roller coaster of economic hardship under his administration. From skyrocketing fuel prices to crippling inflation, his policies have left millions struggling to afford basic necessities like food and transportation. The removal of the fuel subsidy and the unification of exchange rate has sent the naira into a free fall, with price of goods and services doubling almost overnight. Food inflation has soared to 40% and poverty levels have deepened, with the World Bank now warning that Nigerians now hold the unenviable title of having the highest number of extremely poor people globally. Yet, for much of his tenure, Tinubu and his team pretended to be sleeping, oblivious to the cries of ordinary Nigerians. But it seems to be awakened now. The recent announcement of a powerful opposition coalition under the African Democratic Congress (ADC) has sent shockwave through the Tinubu administration. This coalition, which is being led by heavyweights like former Governor of Anambra State Mr. Peter Obi, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President David Mark, ex-Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, ex-Kaduna, Jigawa and Ogun State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai, Sule Lamido, Rauf Aregbesola, has clearly rattled the All Progressive Congress and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Suddenly, Tinubu government is scrambling to reverse some of its most unpopular policies, like reinstating Nigerian card for international payment, reducing custom and import duties, reduction in the pump price of fuel, announcing food reforms to tackle the 24% food inflation crisis. But let's be clear, these moves are not driven by genuine concern for Nigerians. They are the panic reaction of a president who fears losing power in 2027 as the ADC coalition gains momentum to unseat him. There is panic and fear in the camp of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For instance, someone like Nyesom Wike and Festus Keyamo, they have been quick to dismiss the ADC coalition, calling it a gathering of disgruntled politicians with no real vision. Wike in particular has mocked the coalition, claiming its leaders are driven by personal grievance rather than a desire to save Nigeria. Meanwhile, Keyamo has gone as far as to say it will be tragic for Tinubu to lose in 2027, urging APC members to prioritize the president's re-election over their own interests. This outburst shows just how nervous the APC is. This is a classic case of a government more concerned with holding on to power than actually governing. They are talking about the gathering of disgruntled politicians. It were disgruntled politicians that gathered prior to the 2015 presidential election that led to the formation of APC. They accuse ADC of lacking vision. APC itself doesn't have vision. APC do not have any ideology. They were disgruntled. Their only aim in 2015 was to wrestle power away from a Southern and Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. That's the reason why they succeeded in winning an election, but they failed woefully in governance. Since coming into power in 2023, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed to address the issues that Nigerians were seemingly begging for. Bola Ahmed Tinubu neglected the needs and plight of ordinary Nigerians, but rather he was focused on turning Nigeria into a one-party state, because he knows that a one-party state will see to him becoming president in 2027 on a platter of gold. He knows that he doesn't have the capacity. He knows he lacks the nationwide appeal to be president. That is the reason why he wanted to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC has aggressively courted defections from opposition parties, with 23 out of 36 states now under his control. The ruling party has also gone into destabilizing opposition groups like the PDP and the Labour Party through internal sabotage and external pressure. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), which should be neutral, is also complicit by delaying the registration of the All Democratic Alliance (ADA), the coalition's initial choice of a platform. While Bola Ahmed Tinubu was busy destroying opposition politicians and parties in the country, the coalition outsmarted Bola Ahmed Tinubu by bypassing INEC roadblock. They went and formed a coalition and chose a registered party called the All Democratic Congress (ADC). Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sensed that the opposition has outsmarted him and they are way ahead of him. He is now rushing to relax most of his policies. As someone that was a front runner in the formation of APC, history has a way of repeating itself, and it is teaching Bola Ahmed Tinubu a lesson. In 2013, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was a front runner of the coalition of opposition parties that came together to form the APC, uniting against the then President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. That strategic alliance, driven by Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself, ended the PDP's 16-year grip in power in 2015. Today, the ADC coalition is following a similar playbook, with political heavyweights like Mr. Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, Amechi, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, Rauf Aregbesola, David Mark, Sule Lamido, and others. The coalition has a clout and a grassroots appeal to challenge the APC. Peter Obi Obedient Movement, in particular, has energized young Nigerians who are fed up with the status quo. In 2023, the opposition split vote allowed Tinubu to win with just 37%. If Atiku and Peter Obi had worked together, they likely would have defeated him. This time, they are united and the APC knows it's in trouble. But Nigerians should be clever. They should open their eyes to this Bola Ahmed Tinubu's sudden policies reversal. These are nothing but the last kick of a dying horse. I know some people may want to save a dying horse, but in this case, I am talking in the case of Nigeria, you must allow the dying horse to die. These are desperate attempts to win back Nigerians who have lost faith in his leadership. But Nigerians must not be deceived. For 2 years, Tinubu's government ignored the suffering of Nigerians caused by his policies, only springing into action when his re-election chances were threatened. This is not leadership. It is a political survivor. The APC track record shows a government more interested in politicking than governing, with corruption, insecurity, and poverty worsening under its watch. Nigerians must learn to hold grudges, and their enemy currently is APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Their enemy are those politicians that watch them suffer for years ever since APC took over power. The enemy of Nigerians are those politicians that were pretending to be sleeping when Nigerians were going through hardship, economic deprivation, inflation, reduction of the quality of life, insecurity, poverty, unemployment, and all forms of negative government indices. Their enemies are those politicians that disregarded their vote, those politicians that spat on their faces while they were suffering, those politicians that were living in affluence when Nigerians were going through penuries, those politicians that were buying a 150 billion naira private jet while Nigerians could not afford 1 square meal a day. It is time to hold grudges. It is time to repay those politicians. It is time to ensure that you vote them out. I gave you a statistic that 82% of Nigerians are disgruntled and disenchanted with this government. That number must be increased and sustained. It should get to 100%. There is no how a sensible Nigeria should be inclined and support this APC government. It is not possible. This government must be vehemently rejected in the poll. Not just the president, but everyone on the floor of the National Assembly, because they folded their hands and allowed the president to misgovern this country without holding him to account. The duty and role of the National Assembly is to hold the president accountable for every misgovernance, to run checks and balance on the president. But however, they allowed the president to have a free role in misgovernance. They were even singing his political mantra song, "On your mandate we shall stand," whenever the president appeared on the floor of the National Assembly. They have desecrated the floor of the National Assembly. It's time to send them packing. It is time to retire them. We must all gather through this platform, the ADC, and sustain this momentum. And of course, the ADC should stay focused and avoid the pitfalls of internal rivalry. The ADC must prioritize a shared vision over personal ambition. The ADC should ensure that only presidential candidates with a nationwide appeal, young and vibrant, competent, with no controversy, and someone from the South emerge, because this election must be won in 2027. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.